By the way, man, let us I didn't give it a fellow up to now. And then the game ended. No, you're not. You're not able to have and another looking very much. Because I'm feeling
Maese Good afternoon, colleagues. Good afternoon, colleagues. My name is Ridwan Mamburu. I'm the acting NUM national spokesperson. As we all know that the NUM was engaged with the Chamber of Mines in post-sector wage negotiations. So at the moment, we call this conference to update you on the latest development. And also, after the update by our chief negotiator, Comrade Peter Bailey, I will request the media house to introduce themselves, their name and the organization that they work for. So I'll give this opportunity to Comrade Peter Bailey to brief you about the latest developments.
Good afternoon to you and your listeners and your viewers. The good news is that the end is in sight. We have engaged in marathon discussions since last week. Last night we adjourned very late in the evening. This morning we reconvened and had bilateral discussions. We are now in the final phases of finalizing the document, after which the document would be signed within the next 20 to 30 minutes.
Angelo.
The sticky points were the fact that, as you'd recall, I had mentioned that Glencore was somersaulting on its initial commitment that it made in the document. After marathon discussions and having had to engage them in serious bilaterals, they have now agreed and we have now concluded those. The wording has been worked on jointly and that will now be included in the document. Yes, you may, because members have already taken a decision. They've had a first bite on the matter. The agreement is for categories 4 to 8. The lowest will earn 750 Rand in Rand value in terms of percentile increase. And then the bigger companies, which is Anglo and Exaro, will give 1,000 Rand wage increase for the year 2015.
And what about Glencore? What can you tell us Glencore?
Glencore's wage increase is anything between 800 Rand and 895 Rand.
Now, can you give us a picture of the harmonization issue that was raised?
On the harmonization, all the parties have agreed. Anglo and Exaro were already in a harmonization process, so they were excluded in these discussions because we allowed them to continue with that process. All the other companies have committed to the harmonization. They will then take category 4 to 8 to the highest denominator, and everybody will be. Some of them have asked for a period of 3 years. Glencore, for example, has asked for a period of 6 years to then get to that finality of the harmonization process.
And then Sepiso, and then Zandi after that.
We just want to know whether this means the end of the strike.
Naturally, it would mean the end of a strike, because when you sign an agreement, it means that the parties have now agreed to a full and final settlement, and the end of the strike would be communicated between the management and the branch leadership at operational level about the modalities of when workers should report back for duty.
Zandi?
So what was the members' reaction to yesterday? What has changed from yesterday to today?
No, the members' reaction have always been that they are comfortable to accept the deal because it is within the mandate of our members. That is what they said as a fallback position. This is what you should get us. Don't go and negotiate percentile increases. Go and negotiate rand value increases, and that's exactly what we did.
Any question? Angelo?
While you represent the majority of the workers in the coal sector, Galva's mine doesn't form part of the membership in terms of majority. The agreement obviously doesn't cover that mine, does it?
I beg to differ with you. There is no union, it doesn't matter who they are, who has representativity, sufficient representativity or majority representativity at Delmas Coal except for the NUM. The closest rival has about 60 to 70 members, which are in dispute at this particular point in time, and we are waiting the CCMA to facilitate that process. We remain the majority union in all of the operations. The only difference with Delmas is why they are not part of that rand value increase is that Delmas has a monumental task of getting to the process of harmonization. So they have opted to give increases which ranges between 11 and 20% over the next 3 years in order to get people to the highest denominator in the harmonization process.
Bongen, SABC.
First of all, reasonably speaking, how soon can people go back to work? Is it this evening or is it tomorrow, practically speaking? Also, this must be one of the shortest strikes we have seen in recent years. Are you proud of the fact that you've been able to settle the strike after just 1 week? And what do you think is the blessing for the country?
Before I respond to that, there's just something I must latch on in relation to Delmas. Over and above the percentile increase to harmonization, we also had a sticky point, which were the roof bolt operators, and they have been moved during the process of wage negotiations. We have signed an agreement, it has been implemented, so Delmas has benefited more than some of the other operations. That's the reality. In relation to the duration of the strike, I think it's important that we reiterate, a strike is a last resort, first and foremost. A strike is not about the duration. A strike is about achieving your demand. Once your demand is achieved, a strike is no longer necessary. NUM will not participate in a strike to break the record on the number of days, because that speaks volumes of your ability to negotiate on behalf of your members.
Well, the end is in sight there. Peter Bailey at the Chamber of Mines at those coal sector wage negotiations. He's saying documentation to be signed within the next few minutes. The parties have agreed to a full and final settlement, but we will bring you more on this coming up in our later bulletins.
Members are on standby and that their members are ready to start work tonight. The only reason why we are not keen to dwell into that area is because if some of them don't report who are not on standby, as is communicated by the leadership, it may be used to victimize certain individuals. So we want everybody to be ready and to be informed that tomorrow we start work as a matter of urgency.
Zande, please introduce yourself. Okay. And then last question. Thank you very much, colleagues.
Another half an hour maximum. But I think it's important, Levohani, that I say to the media world and fraternity, thank you very, very much. The manner in which you've covered this, this strike. Firstly, it was a very peaceful strike. Secondly, you've assisted in conscientizing society of the challenges that black mine workers in South Africa face. The manner in which you've covered this, we really appreciate your contribution, and where credit is due, it must be given to you. So once again, on behalf of NUM and its members, thank you very much to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's go.